Good morning, Prairie UU. Good morning, 2021. Isn't that a wonderful thing to hear? We are Prairie Unitarian Universalist Church, and we are from Parker, Colorado, and we say, welcome. Welcome and join us. We are a liberal religious light on the prairie. I invite you this morning, you who seek to remember the past and celebrate the coming future, you who crave change and transformation, you who hold the human story as sacred. I invite you who mourn the loss of loved ones. And I also invite you who welcome the new year with anticipation for transformation. Welcome one and all. From me to you, welcome to Prairie UU.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming.
A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world with you.
Now I'm in a whole new world with you.
Unbelievable sights, indescribable feeling, soaring, tumbling, freewheeling through an endless diamond sky. A whole new world.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
100,000
Hold your
things
breath,
to
it gets better.
see. I'm like a shooting star and come this far. Can't go back to where I
whole
used to
new
be. Every turn a surprise.
New horizons
Every
to
moment red
pursue.
letter. I'll
I'll
chase
chase
them
them
anywhere.
There's time to spare.
Let me share this whole new world with you.
A whole new
A
world.
whole new world.
That's where we'll be.
That's where we'll be.
A thrilling change.
A wondrous place for you and me.
During this month, we focus on imagination, and today we focus on celebrating the turning of the calendar year. I invite you to take a moment, these next few moments of meditation and reflection, to reflect on how we will create a whole new world this year. We celebrate the change of the year, not because it holds any sacred significance, but because it instead marks the time of a beginning and an ending, a time of change and transformation, a time of reflection on the past and a hope for the future, a time for us to imagine a new year as a new beginning in a new world that we can hope to bring to life. We can think of no other way than to begin our year cuddled up with a good friend. And I want to introduce to you my new breathing buddy. His name is RJ, short for Ralph Jr. And I invite you now to go and get your breathing buddy if you have not brought him to service with you, and rest your breathing buddy on your chest as we begin our service together with some breathing and reflection. Let's settle into our space. Let's take a moment to do this as a community. We will start with just a moment of breathing. And now that you have your breathing buddy, let's just take a nice deep breath in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. In and out. One more time. In and out. I believe that if you speak out loud your wish of goodwill, that it connects us to each other and gives our goodwill wish, our prayer, power. And therefore I offer up today. I offer up those who are not able to celebrate the turning of the year, those who are unable to cherish and hope for a new year, those who are mourning the loss of a loved one, a job, a career, or a home, those who are simply surviving and not thriving as we mark the change of this year, those who are held back by fear or insecurity. And I invite you now to speak peace and love into the world by speaking of those you hold in your hearts as you hold their pain and help us to transition it into our own communal gathering. We send positive energy into the world. If you are joining us in Google Meet Live on Sunday morning, please unmute yourself and speak the name of anyone you intend to hold at this time. If you are joining us in any other format, please, during the week, enter your intention into the comments so that we as a collective body, as a community, may hold out and send out goodwill with you. I now bind all that has been named and made known to us, but also those which remain unnamed, but held in the heart of our community as we light our chalice flame.
Our beloved community is not built on a creed, but on a covenant to live together in relationship. Our chalice is a symbol that we are connected with our larger Unitarian Universalist community. We light this flame as a symbol of our covenant to each other and the world around us as we recite our sacred promise. Please join me in reciting our covenant together. We covenant to be a welcoming and loving community, offering each other fellowship, sanctuary, and a joyful spirit. We seek justice and peace in all our deeds and relationships, and we respect and honor both the individual and the collective search for sacred meaning and truth. We revere and celebrate the diversity of our earth and are guided by the spirit that connects all life as we reach out to offer our best to ourselves, our community, and our world. May the goodwill that we have just offered up be held in our hearts and be a sign that we have come to a place to connect in a way that shares the words of our mouths, music in our hearts, and our very silent self as we share these next few moments of silence.
Good morning, friends, and Happy New Year. I'm coming to you from Gabe's room this morning because I am putting up his new calendar. Because today is the first Sunday of the first month of the new year, 2021. And the theme for this month is imagination. Now, our friend Leah Morris has written a song about imagination that she's shared with us, about how our imaginations can dream up inventions and ways of being that seem impossible to us now, but that we have the ability to make come true. Have a look.
Who will I be? Who will I be? What will I see? What will I see? In this great world, in this great world, who could be free? Who could be free? And what will I build? What will I build? What will I find? What will I find? My story begins. My story begins inside my mind. Inside my mind. Who will I be? Who will I be? And what will I see? And what will I see? In this great world, in this great world, who could be free? Who could be free? What will I build? What will I build? And what will I find? What will I find? My story begins. Story begins inside my mind. Inside my mind. In my imagination. My imagination. What is an imagination? Lucy, do you know what imagination means?
I think imagination is what helps people create new things all the time. Because you can't create new things if you can't imagine what you want them to be.
That is absolutely true, Jacob. Everything human made was an idea first. You know, one of my favorite imaginers in history was Leonardo da Vinci. I loved that he imagined that human beings could fly hundreds of years before we figured out how to do it. And Dr. King is another great imaginer. His speeches about the dream that he had outlined a vision for how people could live better together in this country. It was all about having that vision first and then finding the words to communicate it, and then being inspired to certain actions that would bring it closer and closer to reality. Do you like to make up stories? When you play with your magnets or when you play with your babies? That's using your imagination, thinking of stories and characters who are doing things all inside your mind. It's amazing. We have movies playing in our minds all the time. And it's really important to be the director of our movies, to recognize that we can tell ourselves stories that make us feel good or stories that make us feel bad. And we get to choose which thoughts we have. We just have to practice deciding how we use our imaginations. Can you think of something that maybe doesn't exist yet, or that no one has ever seen, but that can make your life better or make the world better for those of us who are sharing it? I would love to know what kind of ideas you have about how the future could be, and that you're already starting to imagine, and that one day all of us will see. Who will I be? Who will I be? And what will I see? And what will I see? In this great world, in this great world, who could be free? Who could be free? What will I build? What will I build? And what will I find? What will I find? My story begins. Story begins inside my mind. Inside my mind. In my imagination. My imagination.
In this new year, may we all dream the impossible and celebrate our imaginations and what can be. Now let's sing our children out.
Now let's join together in singing our youth out. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
This morning, we will be centering on these words from Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. Oh, it is so very lonely here, Alice said in a melancholy voice. At the thought of her loneliness, 2 large tears came rolling down her cheeks. Oh, don't go on like that, cried the poor queen, wringing her hands in despair. Consider what a great girl you are. Consider what a long way you've come today. Consider what o'clock it is. Consider anything. Only don't cry. Alice could not help laughing at this, even in the midst of her tears. Can you keep from crying by considering things? She asked. That's the way it's done, the queen said with great decision. Nobody can do 2 things at once, you know. Let's consider your age to begin with. How old are you? I'm 7.5, exactly. You needn't say exactly, the queen remarked. I can believe it without that. Now, I'll give you something to believe. I'm just 101, 5 months and a day. I can't believe that, said Alice. Can't you? The queen said in a pitying tone. Try again. Draw a long breath and shut your eyes. Alice laughed. There's no use trying, she said. No one can believe impossible things. I dare say you haven't had much practice, said the queen. When I was your age, I did it for a half an hour a day. Why, sometimes I believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast. Please respond in community together. May we practice to believe impossible things. During this time of change from one year to the next, may we practice to believe impossible things. During this time of great uncertainty and heartache for losses around us, may we practice to believe impossible things. During this time, we hope for a new vision of leadership for our country. May we practice to believe impossible things. During this time of letting go of the past and hoping for new hope for the future, may we practice to believe impossible things. During this time that we are challenged to imagine one impossible thing, let us hope to imagine 6. May we practice to believe impossible things.
Hello, my name is Michael Meads, and I'm the worship associate for today's service. Welcome all. It is so good to see you, even if it's one way under the current mode of worshiping together. Usually, I've been coming to you from California, where I've been sheltering in place during the pandemic, but today I come to you from Parker. My wife, Jenny, and I drove 18 hours straight with our dog, and we're here in colorful Colorado until the weather gives us a snowfall-free 18-hour window to return to California. It is a wonderful way to start 2021. I'd like to welcome all of our first-time guests and visitors. Every day, we offer ourselves as a liberal religious light on the prairie of the Southwest Denver metro area. We open our spiritual home and our hearts to all people who thirst for authenticity and a connection with the mystery of life. We hope you feel welcomed and a sense of inclusion today as we engage in our online service format. We want to acknowledge you who are joining us for the very first time, whether you are from Parker, Colorado, or Auburn, California, where my 90-year-old father resides. Welcome to our Castle Rock UU community. Welcome to Justice Living, Sober Living in Littleton. Welcome to Bridge House, Ready to Work in Aurora. And some of you might have traveled for the holidays, and this welcome goes out to you wherever you are in the world. We thank you for being with us here today. Please let us know you are here if you are new by clicking on the welcome link in the chat or by going to www.prairieuu.org/welcome and signing our guest registry so that we can keep you connected with Prairie UU in the weeks and months to come. You are welcome here. When we meet in person, normally we would turn to our neighbor and give them a hearty UU warm welcome. But today, since we are not in person, I offer you a virtual hug that comes with all the love and celebration of the Prairie UU community.
Today, I'm not going to lead you with a strong message about resolutions and reflections or even imagination. What I want to ask you today is to come as you are immediately after this published portion of today's service and share with us. Share what you are letting go of from 2020 and what you are imagining for 2021. 2020 has not been good for most of us. We have struggled with racial unrest, the killings of too many black and brown people, the pandemic virus that has taken over 300,000 lives in the U.S. alone, great threats to our democracy, loss of jobs, loss of homes, loss of family and friends. Many of us have come, though, to this new year, this 2021 year, with a hope for a whole new world. And we do this in the wake of 2020, though. We do this with an imagination, with an imagining and a looking through the looking glass as we hope to find wonder in the impossible around us. We do so with the hope of still holding on to the many beloved communities that we have around us, one of which is Prairie UU. Even in our isolation, we hope that relief will come with our new federal leadership that will also have the hope for a new world and sees a vision of the future that is more just, more equitable, more loving, and most importantly, more compassionate for all people. I invite you to bring to our burning communion today these things that you are letting go of and these things that you are grateful for. The things that you are imagining for the future. Each year we do this tradition of burning out the past and bringing the fire of commitment to our future with passion. I invite you to join us in Google Meet after the service with your offering during this sacred time of community communion. A time when we bring ourselves and our offerings forward to share in beloved community. We will together bring to life fire, and celebrate each other immediately after service.
When we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. These are words by Mary Catherine Mourn and Jason Shelton in the hymn 1028, also written by Jason Shelton, The Fire of Commitment. Please join me as you are willing and able in singing now.
From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the faith that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living rings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the faith that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the faith that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Good morning. I'm Bill Baird, a member of the Prairie Finance Committee. And this morning, I am feeling gratitude. I am grateful that the year 2020 has gone, and I'm looking forward to the year 2021. And I'm looking forward to and grateful for continuing as a part of the community that is ours, a community that shares our resources, our time, talents, and treasure. Because Prairie UU is not an institution, it's a community of people who come together in love and support for each other. We need to be taken care of in a variety of ways. One of the teams that does this for us is our Committee on Shared Ministry. I'd like to thank the members of the Committee on Shared Ministry, one of whom is my wife. The Committee on Shared Ministry works closely with Pastor AJ to help set vision and mission of the congregation, to strengthen our covenant, and provides feedback on the health and ministry of the church. If you have feedback for the Committee on Shared Ministry, you can email them at cosm@prairieuu.org. The Committee on Shared Ministry is available to each of you for questions, comments, and suggestions. We also would like to thank you for giving to our We Believe Survivors Fund to support centering the needs of survivors of sexual assault and abuse. The fund is established to assist survivors with the costs of mental health support and legal fees where we can. If you or someone you know is a survivor of sexual assault or abuse, and you need some financial or other assistance, please let Pastor AJ or a member of the Committee on Shared Ministry know. They will be honored to help. So here's what you can do to help keep us strong as a community of people who come together in love and support. While we cannot pass the plate in person, we do need your continued support as we continue to build our beloved community. You can go to www.prairieuu.org/give and find instructions there to donate and help us stay strong. We'd like to thank you for your offering of love to our community. We know it is generously given and gratefully received.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
We welcome you every day to join us in deepening your bond to our beloved community. We hope that if you hear the call to become a member of our community, that you will reach out to connect with us in a deeper, more meaningful way. I have found love and joy at Prairie, so many opportunities, from working at summer camp and meeting our wonderful youth and kids and getting to establish strong relationships with them, with Leading Owl, with Joe Francis, our Whole Lives program about relationships and sex education. Work in justice has called me, and I have found a really wonderful and loving community here. Prairie has provided a welcoming home for my entire family. They've supported us through difficult times, and I've been so grateful to find a place that would support my daughter, who's now 19, but joined Prairie at 4, as they have helped to shape her spiritual development and helped her to form strong bonds with others in our community. This is a place of acceptance and commitment, a sacred and spiritual home that opens itself to you. You and yours are welcome here. Becoming a member of Prairie UU is becoming a member of a sacred bond. We love our community and welcome you into it. If you are called to become a member of our community and have not done so already, we invite you to become a covenantal member. If you are in the Denver metro area or a virtual member from anywhere in the world, simply contact a member of our membership committee or go to our website and complete our guest registry, checking the box to get more information about membership. We will be happy to join in this journey with you and welcome you into our beloved community. Today, after our service, Pastor AJ and our membership team will be hosting a new UU welcome session after the service during Learning Hour. All are welcome to learn more about membership here at Prairie UU, and we hope that you'll join us.
Today, we will prepare to leave the sacred space of the public realm to return to our smaller community in Google Meet to share the things we would like to burn away and let go of from 2020. But before we do this, let us close this portion of our service with these words from Mark L. Bellatini. Go in peace. Live simply, gently, at home in yourselves. Act justly. Speak justly. Remember the depth of your own compassion. Forget not your power in the days of your powerlessness. Do not desire to be wealthier than your peers, and stint not your hand of charity. Practice forbearance. Speak the truth or speak not. Take care of yourselves as bodies, for you are a good gift. Crave peace for all people in the world, beginning with yourselves, and go as you go with the dream of that peace alive in your heart. Amen. Amen. Shalom. Salam. Namaste. Blessed be.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. in peace. But you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Maybe one day you will join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessors. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of men. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. Well, you may say I'm a dreamer,